Maria doesn't allow me to say too much, so here it is.
Please don't.
I welcome you all. Thank you very much for joining us today. This is a great way to spend an afternoon, especially for me, because it's like reuniting with wonderful friends from Cyprus, from Greece, from the US, from Geneva, from The Hague, from London and Birmingham. It's amazing, the Zoom, in some respects, that we can all get together. I met Maria 20 years ago, probably. The charity was founded in 1998, and we have become great friends since then. A few years after the charity was registered, Maria called me. I didn't know her at all. In 2002, I think, and we met, and Maria told me that she had just published a book which was called Celebrate a Wish. It was a collection of amazing recipes for celebrations. So the photographs were amazing. Maria is a fantastic photographer. She had done that herself. And she wanted to dedicate it to two charities, Alkyonides and Make a Wish, who also help children with cancer and other serious illness. So I was very moved because we had very little money at the time, and this meant a lot, and we made a huge amount of money by selling this wonderful book. Inside this book, there was the best Christmas cake that Maria showed us how to make in her house. And we all made 2 cakes each, and we were soon selling 30 cakes at Christmas bazaars. And she also came to my kitchen, and we cooked loads of jam, and we learned amazing things from Maria. And then they left me at 10 o'clock at night to finish the jams, and I was going crazy. Well, Maria comes from the Sarah Lynn family. This is a wonderful family who have probably the best bakery in Cyprus. And she's an accomplished chef. And her mom, who is a master chef, has really approved of this recipe we're going to have today.
Very true, very true.
In 2014, after I came to England and we formed Alkyonides UK, Maria called me again in 2014. And she had a wonderful exhibition because she's also an artist in Nicosia. And I very proudly attended the event, and we raised more money for our Alkyonides nest. Because our charity provides free accommodation, as you know, to Cypriot patients who come here for treatments that cannot be done in Cyprus. At the moment, unfortunately, our nest is very full despite the COVID problems. We have a long-term young man, George, who is waiting for a liver transplant for 3 years now, and hopefully he's near to getting it. We have Andreas, who is being treated for an osteosarcoma, and we have a lovely little girl, 2 years old, Evangelina, who is at Great Ormond Street Hospital. She just had an operation, and please God, it's looking well. I think she'll be fine. We also have 2 other patients waiting for transplants, and we had to put them in hotels, which is not easy when the hotels are all closed. And with your help today, we have raised to now more than £850. So it means a lot to us, and thank you so much. We can also provide now transport to these patients from the airports and to the hospitals, and above all, moral support. I would like also to thank Emily, who is holding the iPad.
She's behind the camera.
And let us all enjoy Maria. Thank you, Maria.
Over to you.
I'm not a very good public speaker, so
Yes,
just be very, very brief. I just want to say thank you to Marie and to all the Alkyonides team for doing a great job. It's the least I can do to help in any way I can. I'm going to show an amazingly, incredibly quick and easy pastry to make, because I've heard of so many people saying that I'm intimidated by pastry, it's too hard, it's too complicated. But this one is so easy to make. So there is no excuse for anyone to try. I mean, Alan made it in 5 minutes flat. So that's an excellent example. We're going to start off. Let me just say a thank you in particular to my mom, who's 90 and she's still going. And when I was explaining that I was going to do this presentation, she found the energy to start thinking of other recipes and saying that, you know, I'll try this and I'm going to mix this and the other. And I think that's a great inspiration. And another thank you goes to my daughter, who's in New York right now, and she's watching us. And she promoted this event like it was her own. And thank you, Katerina. I wish you were here. All right, let's get going. First of all, we're going to put the spinach. It's already washed and dried. And we're going to put it in a large frying pan with just a tiny bit of virgin olive oil, 1 teaspoon. And that's it. No more fat. It's extremely light and very healthy. You put the lid on and you leave it to cook. It will start to wilt and we'll get it off the heat. It's a medium-high heat. And we let it cook until the juices and everything is reduced and there is absolutely none, basically. Meanwhile, we're going to start off with the pastry. Emily's coming round gradually. Right. So we're going to put the yogurt. It's 0 fat. Strained yogurt in the bowl, oops, without the coconut bowl, preferably. Okay, right. You don't need a mixer, you don't need anything else other than a whisk and a spatula. So in goes the yogurt and the oil.
Sorry, I can't see the recipe at the same time. Do you mind saying the quantity as well?
The quantities, it's 90 grams of oil, 280 grams of 0 fat yogurt.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. And this is Kali, my dog. She's saying hello to other dogs, not us. So you use the whisk and you make sure that you mix well the 2 ingredients to a nice creamy texture. I'm going to show you in a minute how it comes together. It comes together really quickly. You don't need a lot of beating. This is it. That's done. Creamy and light. Then you get this off. We don't need it anymore. You add the sifted flour, the salt, just a little bit of salt in the flour. I'm using the wholemeal flour. This is going to be the rustic spinach lattice flan. I've already prepared the vegan one, so I'm going to show you both at the end. So right now we're making the normal one, right? So what do we need? We need the ½ teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and the salt. Everything goes in the yogurt mixture. Then the flour goes in. And then you can either use your hand to bind everything together. I'm going to use a glove so that I don't get too dirty. And you just bring it all together I'm gonna put the whole flour in. Right. This is done. This is it. Done. You can see the pastry has come together. It might be a little bit sticky, but because it's wholemeal flour, give it a few minutes and it's going to absorb all the wet ingredients, and it's going to be fine. Right. This is done. Next step, we're going to grease the flan tin. It's a 28 centimeter fluted flan tin. You put some oil to grease it, or you can use butter if you like, or nothing. I mean, depending on your, if it's a non-stick tin. Right, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to okay, spread it. Kylie, stop. She wants to join the company. Right. Going back to our spinach, what do we do? Look at that. You turn it once, turn it around, and put the lid back on. I never thought of Kylie being so talkative, having a voice. Right.
She's
It looks
sociable.
good. It really looks ready. We need the spinach to look really green and beautiful. A bright color. Right? So turn off the heat. Remove from the stove and leave it to cool. Okay, that's done. So going back to our dough, our pastry. Kylie, give me a minute.
She's very attached to Maria, the dog.
Yeah, she just wants to be part of the meeting. So she's now sitting properly on a chair, overlooking everything.
We're hoping that Maria. We're hoping that Maria will come to England and cutie. Maria, you must come to England and then we can all eat it as well.
Very photogenic. So, all right, coming back to our pastry. You're going to use 2/3 of your pastry. And you're going to use your hands and spread it on the bottom of your flan tin and on the sides. If it's still a little bit sticky, you can use a little bit of flour. Just a little touch of flour so that it makes your life much, much easier. It won't take long, a bit more. If you want to use a smaller, or if you haven't got this size flan tin, you can use a smaller one and turn it into a pie instead of a lattice flan. Now we're going on the sides. See how easily it spreads. You don't really need anything. No rolling pin, no mixer, just your hands. You're going to make a perfect thin bottom flan. Right. Of this. Perfect. Okay. Bottom is done. All right, this is it. Let me just get some flour on my hand, on my fingers, and get back to the filling. You don't need to remove it from the frying pan, unless you want to use a bowl. I mean, it's up to you, but I try to minimize washing up afterwards. Right, so we have the spinach. It's cool enough. Now I'm going to mix the feta cheese, the ricotta, chives, a bit of salt and pepper, and some nutmeg, because I love nutmeg. I don't know if you like nutmeg. If you don't, you can leave it out, or you can substitute with cinnamon if you like. So I'm going to use I always like to freshly ground the nutmeg, about half a nut. Oh, the smell. Can you smell it? Oh, I love nutmeg. Okay. This is lovely. In goes the chives, some salt and pepper. I'm using all different sorts of peppers. Pink, red, and pink, black, and white. And some salt. Not a lot because I'm using feta cheese, so we don't really want it to be too salty. Give it a bit of a stir. As you can see, because the frying pan is wide enough, it gives the spinach the chance to cool off much quicker. And that way I don't really need to transfer it to a bigger bowl or anything. Now, feta goes in. It's 200 grams of feta. A big spoon of ricotta cheese. You can either mix it by hand. You can either use two forks to combine everything together, the filling to come together, or you can just use the tongs that I'm using right now. Normally I use my hands, but as I'm being prim and proper, I'm not using my hands, not that much. Right. Okay, so that's all. It's ready. Am I making a lot of noise? Looks nice, isn't it? And yummy. The color is lovely. It's bright green. Okay, this is it. Now, time to spoon it into the tart. In it goes. Okay. It looks amazing. Right, spread it evenly as possible. And to use my spoon. Okay, you can use a spatula if you like. I'm going to use this spoon, tiny spoon here. It helps. And the next step would be to make your to roll out the remaining pastry. We forgot to put on the oven. All right, let's put on the oven 175 degrees Celsius. A fan assisted oven. My oven is very quick. I don't know you have to be very careful when it comes to cooking times, because it all depends to the how strong your oven is. So be very careful. I say, I mean, if you were to do the vegan, one, it only takes about 18 minutes to bake. But this one, because it's wholemeal flour, it takes a bit longer. But like I said, I mean, it all goes down to your oven. So just bear in mind, put the oven alarm on for say 15 minutes, check on it, and then check on again depending on how quickly it bakes. Right, so we're done. I'm going to use this, I don't know. Right, the filling is ready. Now I'm going to start on the remaining flour. If you feel that you need to flour your surface, your counter surface, you can. But I normally don't, because it's marble and it's quick to, and it's easy to roll out. Make into 12 strips of varying lengths, and start off in the middle, and then carry on with the smaller strips of pastry. Now, how many did I make? And because it's rustic, I mean, you can do it any way you like. It has this ability of looking good in any shapes or forms you want it to be. Let's put it right here. Can't hear anybody talking. Is everybody there?
Everybody is muted, Maria, so they can hear you.
I know.
If anybody wants to say something, you can
Feel free.
yourself. When we made this, it was delicious. And Maria said, if you have extra pastry, you can make some lovely like cheese straws.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can make all sorts of pies with the pastry. Any leftover pastry. Like I said, if you have a smaller sized flan tin, you can with the leftover pastry, you can do anything you like. I'm going to make just 5 strips instead of 6.
I went to my organic shop down in Caversham and got the best stone ground flour.
Yes,
it was delicious.
Mine is organic as well, and it's really lovely, and it's a bit dense, but the taste is amazing. It's denser as pastry. I mean, using wholemeal flour, it's a lot dense. It's more dense than or denser or more dense. Yeah. I'm an English teacher.
But there's no fat in the yogurts, which makes it a lot less, fewer calories.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the filling is with light feta, and because it's not fried at all, it's quite light. It's a lot lighter than your normal spinach pie. Hardly any fat. So that's really delicious with a lovely salad, with a green salad, or with some tomato and onion salad.
And a glass of wine.
Definitely. That goes without saying. Right. Okay, we're almost there. 2 more.
Marie, may I ask a question?
Of course, Pauline.
Yeah, sorry. I notice it serves 8. Is it possible to freeze? Because
Yes.
you can. Ah, fine.
Most definitely, yes.
I can make that
that's
today.
the beauty of it. That's the
make
beauty
it today
of
for
it.
the family coming. Yes.
You can make it, and you can freeze it, and you can get it out of the freezer at any time and moment, and it's really lovely.
Would you reheat or just to have it cold?
No, I would definitely reheat it because it's really lovely when it's nice and crusty, and it gives you that feeling of whole foodness.
So if it's out of the freezer and it's already been cooked, roughly how long would you put it in the oven for?
If it's a whole pie, it's different to just one slice.
No, one
So
whole
I mean, the whole one. I mean, you're going
Yeah.
to freeze the whole one.
Yeah.
I'd say put it on 150 to 60 fan assisted oven for half an hour.
Okay.
It's best if it's low temperature than high, and
Yeah.
it will definitely catch. All right, let's show how we're going to decorate. We have the tomato slices. I couldn't find cherry tomatoes, so I used the mini plum tomatoes. So that's okay. Even if you've got the normal type, you can still chop them up and make them look nice, and decorate as you wish. I'm a bit OCD with this, so I like them to be in, looking pretty nice. But I mean, you can.
Maria, I can see that Alessandra and Ariana and Elisa are cooking there.
Excellent.
How is it coming?
Is it good? Is it easy?
Speak.
Any comments? How do they find the recipe?
I don't think they can speak when they're making it.
Okay, not like me. Okay, we're done. Now we can have as many questions as you like. I'm going to put it in the oven, and then we can have a chat.
So
I'm going to throw this in. Okay, lovely. Ready? Goes in the oven. I'm going to put the alarm on for 21 minutes. Perfect. Okay, one bowl to wash and a few others. But normally you wouldn't be doing this, so I mean it's just one bowl basically. Right, let me wash my hands.
So if anybody wants to ask a question, please wave and unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have a question. Basically, the spinach was a bit watery, and I'm not really sure if we should remove the water before mixing
Yes.
with the feta cheese.
Yes, definitely. It needs to be dry. Otherwise, it's going
great.
to be a bit. You're going to have a soggy bottom. The pastry is going to be a bit soggy.
Okay. Yeah? All right. Thank you.
Next, I mean, I should have said that if there is, because I use the pre-packed and pre-washed spinach leaves, there's hardly any water. But yesterday, when I did the other pie, I got the actual spinach bunch, and I had to wash them by myself and dry them just to check it out. And it was fine because you have to give it some time to make sure that it dries completely, or you can pat dry it, or you can leave it just to dry on its own. But it has to be dry leaves, right?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Let me just clean my work surface. Anybody has some wine or a gin and tonic? Or vodka. Now we're done. I'm going to show you the
It's only 3 o'clock, Maria. Or half past three. It's only half
still
past
early
3
for
for the
you.
gin and tonic.
It's too early for you, is it? Right, I'm going to show you what I made this morning. I'm going to show you the flowers that I received today. These beautiful flowers from people that I love, and they love me. And this is what I made this morning. This is the This is the one with the white flour instead of the wholemeal flour. It's the vegan spinach lattice tart, and we'll have to find out if it tastes nice. Emily, what do you think? Are you ready? You're ready for a big slice? Yeah. Okay, let's cut into it. Let me get my knife. Right. Anybody has any questions?
I have a question about this vegan one.
Yes.
You're saying self-raising flour.
Yes.
But the other one, the ordinary one, is it plain, isn't it?
No, it's wholemeal flour.
Wholemeal, but not self-raising.
The one we made just now, it's made with wholemeal flour. The ordinary one, it has wholemeal flour in it. This one is just self-raising, right?
Yeah, I have a question, Mariamu.
Yes.
If it's vegan, you don't put yogurt. What do you put instead?
We put coconut yogurt.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it turns out really nice. If you don't want to use the vegan cheese, you can always add lots and lots of herbs like basil, mint, dill, even fennel. This is nice, huh?
Yeah.
What does it look? It looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
This is the vegan one.
Looks lovely.
And it's so moist and easy to make. I mean, I'm thrilled that it just, you can whip up a pastry in 5 minutes, and you don't need the mixer, you don't need anything to
I
help
have a
you.
little silly question.
Go ahead.
When you put the tomatoes on top, do you cut them in half, in quarters? How's like the best way, I guess, especially because they're, I don't know, bulky, watery, how they cook?
If you're using cherry tomatoes, you just half them. Like today, I've used the little plum tomatoes, the mini ones. They were the elongated ones instead of the cherry type. So I had to cut them in 3 pieces, and that's what I
have
use.
the cherry, so half. Cool.
Just half, or even cool. I mean, it depends on the size of the cherry tomato. It's up to you. Use your
imagination.
Discretion. Use your discretion. I mean, and if you want to change the filling and put something different, you can do that. I mean, I'm giving you a pastry with a filling that I wanted to show, but you can use any kind of fillings you desire.
So
you can
with like
it
the
into
leftover pastry, could you make a sweet version, like a jam kind of tart? Would that work?
You could, yes, definitely. If you're going to make them into jam tarts, because the pastry has no sugar, it balances well with the jam, because jam is obviously quite sweet. So having no sugar in the pastry, I'm not very friendly with very sweet pies or desserts or whatever. I prefer to use either honey or cinnamon or carob. Find other substitute. You know,
Thank you.
Natural, more natural and healthier versions of sugar.
A question, Maria, it's wonderful. I love the look of it. It's wonderful. Would you ever make this with coloquista, like a pumpkin?
Yes, yes.
What would you combine pumpkin with?
I mean, you could even make it into a colocoti, you know, which is if you're into that kind of filling, you could use that as a filling. But with pumpkin, I'd put lots of spices in, nutmeg, cinnamon, cloves, ground cloves, even maple syrup or honey. And if you're not using eggs, if you want it to be vegan, just whip it. I mean, let me think. Because it doesn't hold up. It's not like a short crust pastry that holds up its body. You can't really cook it blind and then fill it up with your filling. What you can do is make it into a pie and cook the whole thing together, right? Yeah. But what I would put in the pumpkin is some cream cheese to give it some texture and taste. And anything you like, any other thing you like. I mean, it's up to you.
You know, I'm sorry to ask another question. Last question. I promise.
Feel free. Feel free.
I was going to ask you whether you bake it blind, but
You
said
can't. You can't because it doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up. It's not like the sturdy kind of pastry that it holds up its body and you can bake it blind. This one, it just collapses as soon as it goes into the oven. Let me check on our time. 13 more minutes. How's everybody else who's cooking along? Are they done with have they put everything in the oven? How's it coming out? Any news? Anything to report?
Alessandra, have you put it in the oven yet? You have to unmute. Yes, from The Hague, Alessandra.
We are still making the rolls for the top.
Well done, Ariana. I'm sure, beautiful job.
We want to see
how old is Ariana?
Marimu, we want to see photos of the end result.
Alessandra, photos, please.
We will. At the moment, we can show you. We are still.
Are you going to try it? Emily? How? I'm going to hold it. I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to show you, Emily, trying the. How am I going to do it? Hold it like this. Okay. There you are. This is Emily, who's my camera woman. Hello, Emily. She's going to try the.
I hope Emily is taking half the pie home.
Oops. Let's see. Let's see the face. Is she going to like it or she's going to spit it out?
Delicious.
Delicious? I've bribed her.
I look forward to meeting you, Emily, when I come to Cyprus, if I'm ever able.
Me too. It will be nice. It would be nice to do that. All right. Galo, is it really nice? Okay, good. This is a vegan one. Yes, the vegan type. Vegan feta and vegan cream cheese. Vegan Greek style.
Can you taste the coconut?
Coconut?
The coconut yogurt.
Coconut yogurt, yeah. This is the vegan one with coconut yogurt and everything vegan. But like I said, I mean, if you're not very friendly with vegan cheeses, you can always go totally with herbs and just spinach. I like that. I mean, I like the idea of gali. Okay, she's really enjoying it. Now she's gone shy.
Oh, Maria, can you put nuts with this instead of
the paste? For the vegan ones, I've used this and the spread. So it's quite good. I mean, it helps. It's more or less the same. I'm going to check on the pie. Nice.
May I ask another question?
Yes, please.
When you're ready.
Tell me.
it's such a lovely recipe, but I won't want to be cooking it too often for 8. I'm just wondering, could you just, would I be able to translate that into small tartlets, individual, and then I could freeze some and have them individual? Do you see what I mean? Instead
of course, I mean,
enough for one.
You can make two little ones, smaller size, if you like.
Yeah.
And save one and put one in the freezer and then use the one on the day. Or you can put all of them in the freezer and have them at the ready for whatever occasion you need to use that.
I was thinking of using a pate type one where you'd have maybe 6 that you could put the pastry in and then put the filling and the lattice, cook them together and then freeze the ones you weren't using at that moment. Would that work?
You mean individual tartlets?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, of course. I mean, you can use any flans you have.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything that you have at hand in the kitchen. That's brilliant. And there's no stopping you. And like I said, I mean, you can use the pastry for something else.
Yeah.
Well, Paulina, Maria says it's for 8, but to be honest, we were a bit greedy and we only made it last for 4. So it was so nice.
In that case, it'll be about right for me then.
Maria.
I always freeze myself. I always freeze.
Time.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Can you freeze them cooked?
No.
No?
I wouldn't do it because I've never tried it firstly. I mean, this is not something that I've tried out, so that I cannot recommend. But you can try it and let me know, and we can discuss it afterwards, if you like. But
Mara is an amazing
I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't think this kind of pastry freezes well when it's uncooked. It does. It's a different ball of game when it's cooked. When it's uncooked, because it's got the baking soda in, it might come out flat once it's out of the freezer. So I really don't know. But I definitely recommend it once it's cooked. Definitely. And I mean, you can leave it in the freezer for almost a month without any changes. Okay, let's check on the flan. I'm listening.
So we are about to put it in the oven. But
Yes.
just wondering whether you have to put any drizzle of olive oil on top.
I'm sorry. Can you just repeat?
Yeah, we are about to put it in the oven.
Yes.
Do we need to put any drizzle of olive oil on top?
No. Unless you want it, you want to add more calories for the pie. I mean, it just comes out perfect as it is. But like I said, if you feel like drizzling it with olive oil, feel free to do so.
Ariana, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. I was going to say that it really looks. It came out really nice.
It was very professional.
And you have a little helper as well.
Yeah, Ariana is the helper. My name is Alessandra.
Alessandra is Italian.
Brilliant. I should dust my Italian. Oh my God, I haven't spoken in ages. No.
Is it sometimes, what I do sometimes is I sprinkle nigella seeds and sesame seeds. I don't know.
You can do that. You can do that. It's a good idea. It gives it an extra crunchiness.
Yeah.
Why not? Yes. I mean, anything you like, anything that you feel that tastes nice. It's up to you. It's your own creation. After this, you can make it into your own. You can use any other ingredients you fancy. You can substitute the chives with. I find that chives have a more elegant smell and taste to, as opposed to the spring onion. So that's why I use chives. But if you feel like you have, or if you don't have chives, if you feel that you want to use spring onions, just chop it finely. Don't chop it roughly, because it's going to taste really. For me, it doesn't have the best of taste if it's roughly chopped, and it won't have the time to cook either. But if it's finely chopped, it should be okay. That's all. Any other questions?
Sorry.
Yes.
Carry on.
Any other questions?
Maria, I just want to tell you that the chat is filling with amazing comments from all your amazing sisters and your mom.
Oh.
So you have to look at them later.
Oh, I love them too. They've been a tremendous support, and they're at my mom's house right now watching us. So that's nice.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And this is going to be on YouTube, so everybody who has the link can watch it again if they forgot some ingredients.
So is it just wonderful messages from my family, Marimu?
No, and from a lot of people. So you have to look at them afterwards.
Maria,
So,
if
yes.
you use the colocotes filling, would you put the cracked wheat as well, or just the pumpkin?
I put everything, the whole thing, you know, sultanas, lots of cinnamon. What I wouldn't do is put any liquid.
No, yeah.
Because it would get really soggy and
just the olive oil, yeah.
Just a drizzle of olive oil, not too much.
Okay.
A little bit of sugar if you like, if the pumpkin is not too sweet.
Yeah.
And or honey if you like.
Okay.
And yeah.
Thank
you. I've used this pastry with tahini.
What did you?
And I put cinnamon in the pastry, and the filling was just tahini, a spoonful of sugar, lots and lots of cinnamon, and a drizzle of carob syrup. So that and it came out really lovely.
How much?
Came out really nice.
How much tahini?
You know what happens?
No.
Unless I am going to do a presentation, I never waste stuff, because I know by just looking at things that, you know, this is how much. So I think it was like a jar of tahini.
Really?
A jar or less.
I'm very pleased to see that Tatiana made it, because the gluten-free recipe was for you, Tatiana. I hope you'll try it.
It was like 300 grams of tahini.
Maria,
And I always use the organic and processed type of tahini, which is quite dark.
Maria is very busy. She's very busy doing a billion things, and she's a nursery teacher as well. And Maria, people are asking for recipes. Wonderful. Maria, people
I think it needs a bit more.
They're asking
I'm sorry,
for
Madam,
more
I can't hear
questions.
you. I think it needs a bit more. 5 more minutes and it's going to be done.
Looks lovely.
Excellent.
Maria, we had some requests for a series of recipes.
Really? Why not? Why not? I'll be honored to do that, honestly. And we can even, once this challenging time is over, we can have physical meetings, and we can bake
Yes.
along, and we can chat, and we can have wine together.
Yeah, we'll come to Reading and we can all taste the pie. That will be good.
You
She's
know
been
what?
here before.
We should arrange for a 3 or 4, 5 course meals when I get there.
Please.
Yes, from the first course to
Oh, and
dessert.
Look
That
at the Erados. Erados, show us.
Oh, here it is.
Ερατό μου είσαι εσύ που ξέρω ότι είσαι εσύ.
Ναι, εγώ είμαι.
Hello, Ερατό.
Your Miro's daughter, yes?
Oh, no, it's, είμαι στη μαθητρία της Κατερίνας.
Oh, I see. Bravo, Sue. It looks good.
Ερατό μου, are you in London right now or you're
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I'm in London. I work here.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm
Thank
stuck.
you. Thank you so much for joining and registering and donating and all that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to
It
be
looks
annoying
really
again,
nice.
but
Elisa.
Hi.
Ah,
can I ask another quick question?
sure, go ahead.
How do I know if it's cooked? I'm afraid. Let me turn the camera around. I'm not sure if I'm gonna burn it if I keep it longer. Hold on.
Is it a fan assisted oven or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. It looks good. Let me see.
Is it all right?
It looks really nice. Did you use a Pyrex?
Yeah. I didn't have a flan pan.
Pyrex, I mean, glass tends to not cook properly.
Okay, now I know.
So it might be a bit under.
Shall I put it in for longer and turn down the
I'll
heat?
tell you what. I'll give you a tip. Have you got a tray, an oven tray, an aluminum?
Like a metal tray? Yeah.
Put your Pyrex there. Put it on the
Okay.
aluminum tray.
I can do that.
Could you just put the setting on your oven just for the bottom part or not?
No, it's just like a small oven, like a full. But
It's
small
just
oven.
a fan oven. All right, just
Yeah.
leave it on the aluminum tray,
Okay.
and
Okay.
hopefully it will cook.
How will I know when to like when it's cooked?
Get a spatula.
Yeah.
And go like this. You know, where is my tray? Have I got a tray? Go. I mean, if you have a spatula,
Yeah.
go a bit like this with your spatula and try
Okay.
to look at the bottom.
Okay. I can do that. Thank you. I'll put it in for a bit longer.
Turns out well. I hope it turns out well.
It looks okay so far, so hopefully.
Yes.
I haven't messed it up.
Excellent. Anybody else? Any more questions? Shall I get this one out?
Would you share the alternative of the filling? You were talking about pumpkin and things. You will be able to share those.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said. This is done.
Alessandra, I would like to know if you can give the recipe for the pumpkin. Maybe try another on Maria together.
I have to try it out first.
Okay.
Because it's not something that I've tried. It's just something that I can think of. I thought of just now because of the demand. But I mean, we can discuss it and see. So we'll have to leave it in the tin for a few minutes and then try to get it out. But it came out really nice. It looks yummy. It smells nice, doesn't it, Emily?
That's a yummy one.
This is the thing with non-stick tins. I mean, just by going like this, I know that it's already done. It's cooked. I can feel it that it's bouncing. So it means that it's not stuck. And it looks nice. Yeah. Who's coming for spinach pie? For
Yes, please.
slice of You know, it really is yummy with a nice salad. A salad full of herbs, really. Dill. Oh, I love fennel. Who loves fennel? I love fennel.
I,
Do you like fennel?
I love fennel.
How do you
I love fennel. It's really nice. Katerina loves fennel too. Yeah. Really, Katerina, Mila.
So we could have a hortopita, as you said,
Yes.
mistisi,
Bravo! This is it. I mean, you can use the pastry, this pastry, the vegan one, for Lent, and then make the filling that you know how to make. You've been making over the years, and that's it.
If we don't, sorry again, it's me, sorry about that. If we don't have coconut yogurt and we want to make it mistissimi, could we use tahini instead, or does it make it too rich?
Too rich and too sticky, I'd say. I don't know, I haven't tried it, so I can't really say much about this. I've used tahini in biscuits, but I've never used it in a biscuit pastry. I've never used it on this, but I mean, we can try and find out what it will look like.
Maria, I came with my friend Magda to your house for breakfast a few years ago.
Oh my God! I know. You were making. You have a university in Bafos.
Well, my husband was setting it up then. Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay.
If you have the time and you can do this again, I'd love to find out how to make different types of bread and flour.
Okay.
Breads. I mean, breads are not make.
Stella, we have to send you to Brendan because he's the expert.
I think that he's the expert. Brendan is the expert.
Can we have a demonstration of bread, Brendan, for Stella, for all of us?
For everybody. For everybody. Let me get bread.
Can you tell us a bit about your bread, Brendan?
Sourdough, Marie.
Yeah, sourdough.
Yes.
I do a lot
nice.
of sourdough.
Hello, guys. It's nice to see you. Okay, I'm ready to turn this. Turn this over. It looks good. It's well cooked under, as you can see. Yep. And let's do this. Okay, done. Yes. And this is the wholemeal flour one. Smells nice. Still. Good. Okay. Anybody else has any more questions, queries, anything to say? Please feel free
to go.
Just to say thank you, Maria. It looks wonderful.
Yes, I've enjoyed it. I hope everybody else has. And let's meet up soon. Hopefully.
Pauline, please say something if you want.
No, I just said how much I'd enjoyed it. Thank you. And I've got all the ingredients downstairs in the kitchen, which I'm now going to make.
Excellent.
I'm coming round. Pauline is
I wish we could.
The times will change soon, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely.
I hope so, Giri Anastasia. Are you going to make the pie?
Who are you asking me? Sorry.
Giri Anastasia. Anastasia from Cyprus. You have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Alan.
Okay, Marin.
Okay, Thank you ever so much, Maria.
Thank you.
We are going
Bravo.
Thank you. Going to do the presentation.
Thank you.
back in Cyprus. Bravo.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.
I think little Ariana really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Maria,
You can watch it on YouTube again. And thank you all for your generous donations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Maria, it was great. Can you hear me?